Naples Tower, this is helicopter 357 Lima Hotel requesting Hunter taxi to spot Charlie with Alpha.
Hey guys, welcome to the Skunk Works. Rob here, and today we're going to be doing a transmitter fix. More specifically, we're going to be adjusting the tension or the way that the throttle moves, the feel of it on your transmitter. I want to say a few things right off the bat before we do this. This is actually a little bit more of an advanced thing, but this is something that I do with every single one of my controllers for every helicopter I have. Without exception, I do this same procedure. It's pretty easy to do. I do need to make it clear right off the bat that by doing this modification to your transmitter, you could be voiding whatever warranty you may have. So I don't know, just be aware of that, you know, before we start on this or before you do it to your transmitter. Okay, so let me explain what we're going to be doing and why. We're going to be changing the feel of the way that the throttle stick comes up. If you push on it, you'll feel that it actually notches a little bit at a time, like notch, notch. You probably can't see this on camera. Let me see if I can get a really tight zoom. If you watch very closely, it's like you got notch, 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 all right? And you want that to be more like smooth, like it's just gliding. The reason for that, the why behind this, is because the difference between something like, say, this notch and this notch could very well be the difference between the helicopter wanting to go up or it wanting to come down, because you can't get right in the middle. You need finer control. So we can take care of this really easily. Okay, the only thing that you really should probably need will be a medium-sized Phillips screwdriver. All right, first thing you want to do is take the batteries out of your remote, or your transmitter, which I've already done. You can leave the lid off, doesn't really matter in this case. You can take your screwdriver and you're going to remove your 4 Phillips screws holding the transmitter together here, 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 and here. So I'm going to go ahead and take get the screws out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I got all 4 screws out. Now what you want to do is carefully take off the back of the transmitter. There are going to be some wires that are connected from on the inside, this is, from the back boards, the circuit boards of the transmitter to the front. So just remove this carefully, take this away carefully. You can see what we got here. Give me a chance to get a zoom. I'll show you. This is what we're after right here. This is on your throttle. This is basically the tensioning. It's basically a piece of spring steel, adds tension. There's notches on the throttle, on the plastic here, and it's held in by a Phillips screw right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take this screw out, we're going to take this thing, and we're going to flip it around. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get it off of here first. Okay, so I'm going ahead and I'm taking the screw out. And I'm literally just going to flip this piece over once the screw is out. Make sure, keep a hold of it so that your screw doesn't fall down into your transmitter or something like that. All right, so we've got our piece. You can see this is, get a zoom. Get a focus too. Here. See, this is all it is. And normally, this is the side that's down against the transmitter, against the plastic notches. We want to turn that over. So we're just going to flip it like that. So this side is the side that's down against the thing. Okay, so take the screw out. Take the screw out of here. Put it through the other side, and notice that the tab, the ear here, is bent up. Let me get this back in view. I got such a tight zoom. All right. Notice this is where the tab is bent up and your screw is going down in through that way. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put this back onto the thing. And I'll say right off the bat, I don't know right yet. This looks pretty straight. You might have to play with the tension a little bit. You might have to bend it a little bit. I'm not thinking we're going to have to in this case, but you might have to. A lot of transmitters you do because it's actually bent. And you have to sort of bend it a little bit the other way. All right, so what we got here is it's a little bit, as much as I've tightened it down, which is all the way, it's still a little bit loose. We don't want it completely loose. We don't want the other side just flopping the way that it is now. You can see here, it's just kind of flopping. Don't want that. We do want a little bit of tension on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back out. Okay, now that we've got the piece back out, I want to give a slight downward bend to it. Just very slight. I'm grabbing it like this and just giving it a little bit of a bend. That should probably do it right there. You can see how little of a bend that is. All right, let's go ahead and put it back in again. Okay, so now we got the thing screwed back in again. It's been turned around and screwed back in and tightened down. Got it lined up. I'm just going to go ahead and, first of all, let's get our wide back here. All right. Put the back on here. Taking care to make sure that as you put it together, no wires are getting pinched any place inside. All right, now when you move it now, you still do feel the notches. You'll still feel the notches, but you won't feel them as much, and you can kind of get more in between, so to speak, the notches, so you can get finer control out of your throttle. Oh yeah, a lot better feel to that. A lot better feel. Those notches aren't so pronounced now. So we got that done. Now all we need to do is just put our 4 screws back in, put our batteries back in, and we'll be good to go. Okay, putting the last screw back in, and there you go. So now we have a controller that has a much, you still got the notches, but it's a much smoother feel, a little bit easier feel. I like this. You might want to give it a shot, but I found that, over time, gives me a lot more, finer control with the heli when I want to get that perfect hover, perfect height above the ground, at altitude, whatever. So there it is, guys. One more note. How much you bend that, remember the little piece we bent in there? How much you bent that piece will determine how much tension there actually is. I might like mine a little bit loose, just barely above flopping, to where this thing would just flop around if there was nothing there. Give it that much tension so that it'll stay in place, and that's where I like mine. You might like yours a little bit stiffer. That's completely, totally up to you. But so there it is. Phillips screwdriver, we reversed that piece, and it's pretty much done. So if you want to give it a try, go ahead. Might work out better for you and enable you to fly your helicopter a little easier, get a little bit finer and better control there. So until part 6, thanks for tuning into the Skunk Works. This is Rob, and everybody take care.